The Flamingo Rebellion, a plastic uprising. Prologue: the first pink arrival. In the early days of May, when spring was still awkward and tentative, Brian Kettering placed a single flamingo in his front yard. Its metal stake wavered slightly in the cold breeze. The plastic bird was inexpensive, pastel pink, and wholly harmless, the kind of thing you might find at a garden sale or novelty shop. A neighbor had called it cheeky. He positioned it next to a stand of daffodils, behind a creeping vine of wisteria. If anyone noticed, they didn't complain. For days, weeks even, nothing happened. Life in Willow Creek Estates flowed in that slow suburban rhythm. Morning coffee on porches, kids riding bikes, mail arriving at exactly 14:03. Then came the letter. Chapter 1. The notice. The envelope was plain off-white, with a return address reading Willow Creek Homeowners Association. Inside was a single sheet. Notice of violation date: May 18, 2025 to Brian and Marissa Kettering Re. Non-conforming lawn ornament. Dear homeowner, it has come to the attention of the HOA Architectural Review Committee that you have installed an object on your front lawn that is not in compliance with the community aesthetic guidelines. You have 72 hours to remove it or be subject to a fine of $75 per day until full compliance. Sincerely, Marjorie Elkins, HOA President. The fine sounded trivial, chump change in the scheme of mortgages, but the letter's tone crackled with authoritarian certainty. Brian, who often worked late nights at the computer, took a photo of the flamingo, forwarded it to Marissa along with the letter, then set them aside. He responded with an email to the HOA board, asking for clarification of aesthetic guidelines and an appeal. He ignored the threat. Chapter 2. Retaliation. In pink. 2 nights later, a second flamingo arrived. It stood companion to the first, side by side, facing different directions. Brian was bewildered. He did not purchase it. That night, he stayed up until midnight, listening for footsteps, watching shadows. The third night, there were 6 more. By the end of the week, Brian's lawn had become a shimmering flock of flamingos. 15, then 30, then 50. They were arranged with odd geometry, arcs, semicircles, even a loose spiral. For the first time, the whole street took note. Children calling to their parents. "Look, Mom! Pink birds in the yard." Old Mr. Davenport sitting on his porch down the road. "What in the ever-lovin'?" The HOA board convened an emergency meeting. Marjorie, all clipboard and clipped tone, presented photographs and declared the invasion a threat to shared property values. She passed a motion. Fines would double. She also hired a private security guard, a bulky ex-military man named Kurt, to monitor Kettering's property at nightfall. Brian forwarded an appeal to the board. He wrote, "These are plastic flamingos, harmless. If I removed them now, more would appear. I ask for patience, clarification, and reasonable enforcement." No reply. Chapter 3. Flock expansion and neighborhood fever. Each dawn for the next fortnight revealed more flamingos. The flock invaded neighbors' lawns too, though not uniformly. Some houses had none, others were festooned. Some homeowners bought crates of It's the neighbors pranking him. He's doing it himself, slowly building pressure. It's performance art. He's hacking a delivery drone to drop flamingos at night. No one knew. The HOA security guard recorded multiple nightly patrols in front of Brian's home, but the footage always showed blank darkness or static. The cameras malfunctioned exactly during the hours from 2:13 a.m. to 3:47 a.m. Then someone, a neighbor with a wide social media network, posted a photo. The flamingos across 6 houses spelled out "Free HOA" in bold pink letters spanning front lawns. The compound message read like a banner: protest, humor, revolt. Marjorie scrambled. She called an all-residents meeting, cited neighborhood values, property rights, and aesthetic integrity. She issued demands: remove the flamingos by dawn, pay escalating fines, or face legal repercussions. Meanwhile, the flamingo count kept rising. One night there were over 300 across the subdivision. Chapter 4. The Midnight Raid. On a damp Thursday night, Marjorie snapped. She donned gloves, a flashlight, and carried pruning shears and a large bin. She crept across Kettering's front lawn, slicing flamingo legs at their stakes, tossing the remnants into the bin. She worked fast and quietly. But Brian's wife, Marissa, had anticipated possible sabotage. She'd rigged motion sensor sprinklers around the bird zone. At 3:03 a.m., the sprinklers activated, gushing diagonal sheets of water. The spray struck Marjorie, soaking her skirt and shoes. She screamed, a burst of panic in the darkness, as she fumbled among snapped legs and plastic beaks. Neighbors' ring cams captured everything. Later, the video posted online showed her hysterical in the rain, grappling with mangled flamingos. That evening, Reddit threads exploded. HOA war in real time. Marjorie's frantic response. She claimed vandalism, trespass, disruption. She filed police reports against unknown saboteurs and blamed Kettering for instigating the entire scheme. She vowed criminal proceedings. Chapter 5: The Board Strikes Back. Never one to concede quietly, Marjorie escalated. She dispatched threatening letters to homes participating in the flock's solidarity. She claimed financial liability, aesthetic damages, even hazard to children and pets. She sent notices demanding removal, citing public nuisance codes. She threatened legal suits. She also quietly mobilized 2 or 3 board members. Neighbors she courted with dinners, reassurances, and exclusive meetings. Together, they set up board patrols. Roving teams to monitor flamingo growth, photograph violations, even quarantine zones of high concentration. They hired municipal lawyers and threatened lien placements on properties. Late one night, as flame and tension converged, Marjorie slipped into Kettering's garage and removed several dozen flamingos without permission. She spray-painted over their vivid pink with dull gray primer and restaked them. But a neighbor's security cam caught her at 2:57 a.m., respraying, bending stakes, crossing property lines. That footage circulated. Residents were stunned. Their HOA president engaging in clandestine property tampering. Many whispered, "This is illegal." Chapter 6: Legal Backlash and the Pink Tide. Residents began demanding accountability. A petition circulated. Call for a forensic audit of the HOA's finances, the board's authority, and Marjorie's behavior. At one, a local lawyer specializing in municipal law offered pro bono support. He pointed out repeated violations: intimidation, property destruction, trespass, harassment. He helped several homeowners file small claims, restraining orders, and complaints to the county prosecutor's office. Meanwhile, the flamingo count peaked, over 700 across the subdivision. They sat in circles, waves, arcs of color. They lined rooftops, balconies, flower beds, driveways. Some had glow-in-the-dark features, remote-controlled LEDs. Others bore messages. "You're next, Marjorie, HOA free zone." At night the lawns glowed pale pink in the moonlight. In the next HOA board meeting, the most attended in local memory, Marjorie attempted to push forward new enforcement rules. But chaos reigned. Half the audience shouted, the other half cheered. Someone played "I Will Survive" from a Bluetooth speaker. Several residents demanded her removal, by recall. Others demanded immediate dissolution of the HOA. The meeting descended into yelling, tears, applause. She attempted to gag the crowd with procedural motions. But one by one, borderline neighbors turned on her. The motion to recall her passed 8-1. The motion to dissolve the HOA passed 7-2. Some residents cheered. Others wept. The signatories demanded an investigation. Chapter 7: Criminal Charges and Courtroom Drama. Within days, the county prosecutor's office opened a case. Investigators examined the video evidence, the board minutes, and collected dozens of witness statements. Marjorie was indicted on multiple counts: criminal mischief/vandalism for destruction of property, flamingos owned by neighbors; harassment/intimidation for threatening homeowners; trespass for entering properties without consent; obstruction of justice for destroying or tampering with evidence; Theft alleged, if any confiscated flamingos belonged to neighbors. Court filings included logs of fines, charters, communications, security footage. One exhibitor, the 3:03 a.m. sprinkler video, which showed her climb and hack. Another, a neighbor's Ring camera documenting her respray raid. Testimonies came from board members, homeowners, and even the private guard, Kurt, who admitted his footage was wiped. In pretrial hearings, her lawyers argued the flamingos were nuisance. She acted as president defending community standards. Claims were exaggerated. They accused Kettering of orchestrating the entire rebellion to provoke legal chaos. But the evidence was damning. The judge refused a gag order. The case became a spectacle. Journalists and local news descended. The phrase Flamingogate trended regionally. Chapter 8, Psychological Fallout and Neighborhood Schisms. During the middle of it, tensions in Willow Creek turned personal. Some neighbors who opposed the flock felt pressured, intimidated, or caught in the crossfire. Some had removed flamingos early and paid fines. Others felt torn. Accusations of collusion, double standards, and betrayal surfaced. Marjorie's supporters, a small but vocal faction, accused plaintiffs of being pranksters, anarchists, or troublemakers. They plastered "Support Our HOA" flyers and circulated letters calling enforceable standards, civic duty. They organized perimeter patrols. Brian and Marissa received threats, graffiti on their driveway, "Remove your invasion." Anonymous texts, midnight knocks on the door. Their home camera recorded a figure dragging stakes across their lawn at 4:17 a.m. One neighbor's toddler asked, "Why do the birds never leave?" The stress mount. Brian began Some houses stuck tape over their flamingos. Others padded them with gingerbread houses, teddy bears, little flags. Despite all that, the flock never subsided. It rose, geometrically expanding with waves of new birds each night. The aggression was asymptotic. Always more. Chapter 9, Conclusion in Pink. The trial lasted 6 weeks. Neighbors served as witnesses. Marjorie's defense crumbled under cross-examination. She couldn't explain why she climbed over fences, why she repainted birds, or why her security files were wiped. The jury returned after an afternoon, guilty on multiple counts. Marjorie was sentenced to 90 days in county jail, plus restitution, paying each plaintiff for destroyed flamingos and legal fees, and supervised probation for 1 year. She was barred from holding any HOA or board office in the state ever again. The final act. The HOA's remaining board members handed in the charter. The community voted unanimously to dissolve the HOA. A new neighborhood association formed, but with no power to fine. It served only social and maintenance roles. Weeks later, the flamingos disappeared overnight. In their place, minimalism, green lawns, normal mailboxes, quiet mornings. All at once, the flamingos were gone. Except one. Brian kept a single flamingo, placed by his mailbox. It leaned slightly. He never touched it. He used to joke. Maybe it flew away, or someone collected them. Others speculated a service came and picked them up. Nobody knew. Years later, local lore spun out. Some claimed Brian orchestrated the whole thing from day one. Some said the flamingos were delivered via drone, or by a midnight flock of pranksters. Some said it was a performance art piece on Suburban control. But the record stood: court documents, video footage, testimony. Marjorie served jail time. Her board minutes were posted. The HOA was gone. Property values? They soared. People said the drama made the area famous. Tourists reportedly drove by, took photos of the one pink flamingo still standing. Brian once told a reporter, "I learned something. If you try to control a community by fear, eventually someone will paint it pink."